So I really wish that I could say that the darkest moment of my life was when I lost my brother to suicide, but I'm actually coming out of the hardest battle that I've had to face. After the momentum of last year's event, I continued to put my head down and to grind, right? What I really needed was to rest and reset and take time for myself, but instead I kept pushing. So at the same time when I was experiencing burnout from work, I did the 38 challenge, the workout we just did, for 38 days in a row, which is why I was doing the ski erg today, because I now have no cartilage left in my left knee. So at this time, I was mentally, emotionally, physically burned out, as you can imagine when you run a nonprofit in memory of your best friend and brother who died by suicide. The candle tends to burn pretty hot. And this is when, for me, the depression and anxiety started to slightly creep in to my life. As we all know, one of the most taxing things that you can do in life is move cities. And my response to this depression was to put my head down, quote unquote, eliminate distractions and work harder. So literally in a split-second decision, I decided to pick up my things from Austin and move to Dallas to be more close to this community, which I'm glad that I am. Sometime after Matt died, actually about 2 weeks after he died, I was having panic attacks when I would sleep. So I went to my doctor, and he prescribed me a milligram of a little drug called Ativan. And immediately, the panic attacks went away. I was able to sleep. It seemed to be a miracle drug. Ativan is called a benzodiazepine. It's in the same class of drug as Xanax. And you are not supposed to be prescribed Ativan for longer than 2 weeks. I didn't know this. My doctor prescribed it to me for 2 years, and I took it almost every single night before I went to bed. And sometime between the move from Austin to Dallas, I looked at this little pill bottle and I said, no more. I don't want to lean on something. I don't want to rely on something to sleep with. For those of you who don't know, benzodiazepines are renowned for their horrible withdrawal, both physically and mentally. And by no circumstances are you supposed to stop this drug cold turkey. And me being the hard charger that I am, and with little knowledge, it's exactly what I did. I tried to stop it cold turkey. This is, for me, when the anxiety and the depression really started to become horrible, debilitating. For those of you who have gone through the darkness, the first thing that you think is that you are losing your mind, that you're going crazy. And when you wake up every single day in the darkness, the next thing that goes is hope. You feel hopeless. And when you lose hope, it's one of the scariest, most dangerous moments that anyone can experience in their life. The world starts to lose color. Everything seems meaningless. The only feeling you really feel is numb. The anxiety for me felt like spiders were crawling up my skin. Most days started with a panic attack. If I could think about what hell felt like, it probably feels a lot like this. And I can see the look on some of your faces right now, puzzled. How does this guy struggle so intensely with his mental health? His Instagram bio is doing hard things by showing vulnerability. He literally leads an organization that challenges the stigma. Other of you guys may think that I am crazy or that I am weak. I know what it feels like to feel weak and to feel crazy. I know what it feels like to walk into every room that you've ever been in and light it up, to being too scared to leave your apartment. I know what it feels like to have sleep be the only thing that you look forward to during the day, while simultaneously being terrified to wake up in the morning. I know what it feels like to light a lighter and put it up to your arm just so you can feel something. I know what it feels like to be afraid of the knives in the kitchen. And I know what it feels like to look down 8 stories off your apartment building and seriously consider jumping. I know what it feels like to want to die. But I also know what it's like on the other side. I know how beautiful this life is. I know how many people love me. I know how much I love everyone in this room. I know how many people need me. And I know the strength that it takes to stand up here in front of you today and to share everything I just did. And there's nothing stronger. And now I can tell you exactly how I got through the fire. First thing you need to understand is that this will be the hardest battle of your life. If you thought that workout was hard, wait till the battle comes up here. There's nothing harder. You are literally at war for your life, and you must be willing to fight for it. There's a reason why this event is designed this way. In order to get through the battle, there are some very important things that you need to keep in count. Number 1, exercise. You have to exercise. I went from working out twice a day when I was 16 years old to not touching the gym for 3 months when I was in this stage. Because of the depression, it tells you don't want to go to the gym. The depression tells you want to stay in bed. You have to do the complete opposite of what your mind is telling you because it wants you to stay there. The next thing is you, again, have to realize how hard this is going to be. And you have to lean on others when you are suffering. Because when you are weak, they are strong. And anyone in this stadium right now will help you through your dark times. The second thing, why we have these keynote speeches, reach out to the people in your life. You have to have the strength to be vulnerable and tell them what you're going through, because I guarantee you someone in your life has been through the same fire. And they will do anything to walk you through it. The third part is networking and community. Plug into a tribe. This is your tribe now. These nonprofits here are your tribe. If you're not a vendor, if you're not an athlete, the 38 Challenge is your tribe. Find your tribe. Make your own tribe. Make sure you have it, because this life will provide suffering. You have to be ready for it. All the time, I have people ask me, Brant, I'm in a funk. What's the one thing I got to do? It's not one thing. Escaping the darkness is all about how many tools can you put into your life that will help you carry momentum. Momentum is how you get out of depression and anxiety. So this is what I did. Step 1, I got my medicine situation figured out. I started to taper off of the Ativan. I started taking an antidepressant called Lexapro. Find a good psychiatrist. Don't be afraid of Ativan, just don't do what I did. It was obviously not the right play. The next thing I did, I got in the gym again, started working out like a maniac, eliminated alcohol. I will be drinking at Specs today. Don't worry, we'll be going there having a few drinks. But ate very clean. I started to incorporate breath work and ice, which Ben will lead us through in a little bit. One of the most powerful tools there is your breath and your ice. The background of my phone is a picture of me as a child and my mother when she was holding me. And anytime that the thought of suicide creeped into my mind, I looked into my phone. I said, I cannot do this to her. I cannot do it to Kendall. I can't do it to all of you. I literally envisioned myself in this moment saying, what if you make it through this and you can share this story with everyone here today? The most important thing for me was my faith with God. All of us humans can relate on one thing, and that is suffering. We will all suffer. We live in a broken world. The Bible calls us to suffer. There's only one person who ever suffered perfectly, and his name is Jesus Christ. And for the rest of us, we just have to do the best that we can to suffer well. So, how do we suffer well? Number 1, lean on others when suffering. Understand that there's always hope. Even when it feels like it's hopeless, you have to keep fighting. You have to keep taking steps, because Whether it's tomorrow, whether it's a week, whether it's a month, whether it's a year, you will get through it. And last, you have to have the strength to be vulnerable, because that's how we challenge the stigma. Thank you guys so much. I love you so much for coming out today.